All right, here we are. Welcome. H&M Sports Academy. I'm Mo. This is Harry. HMSA, as we call it.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. Coming off of another week, getting ready to go into another big NFL weekend. We got some NBA action going on. But we're here today to do a quick preview.
Gotta be quick. And we got, we weren't going to do this. And then my phone been buzzing. The streets need us. And
That's right.
And you're doing us a solid. You're coming off an injury. I got new Bears gear on. So let's go, man. Let's get to it.
Let's go. So we're going to hop in. We got the Bears traveling to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Big game. Vikings trying to stay alive. Bears trying to continue their hot streak. They're in the playoff right now. So if the season ended today, and you got that backdrop, obviously it's the NFC North battle. So that's everything that comes with that. And we're gonna hop in, talk about the matchups really quick. And then we'll swing over to the Monday night game, which is the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. Another big game. Cowboys trying to get off the mat, coming off of a bye week, a very, very stressful week, tough week. Lost a dear player, Marshawn Nealon. And on the same side, had a bunch of players coming off of injuries. So we got a lot to talk about there. So, without further ado, we're going to hop in and jump in on this because we want to, give some good content. Remember, if you like this content, please remember to share, like, subscribe.
We're up to 40 subscribers, man. We're up to 40. So we at 100. We celebrate. And I told you that I got to go to California. You coming here, we're going to do it, man. 100 subscribers.
We're gonna crank it up. We're going to crank it up. So we're starting to grow. Certainly appreciate all that support and continue to tell your friends, your loved ones about this. And we're going to start opening up to have chat and Q&A and everything once we get this thing rolling along. So looking forward to it. We're going to start with Bears Vikings. So as we get started, Harry, I'm going to get the ball rolling here with you. Let's talk about the Vikings offense against the Bears defense. Okay. So we got a coach that we love and the offensive coordinator basically, and Mr. Was it O'Connell?
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell. Another pretty boy offensive coordinator that we have. Hot shot, fancy guy that is very well liked among the NFL and is a creative guy. He has this guy Mike McCarthy back, and McCarthy's been battling injury, but that's his future quarterback. So he's trying to grow with him, and he's trying to see what McCarthy's going to do. McCarthy was game for y'all's last time and kind of came back and pulled that game out. And it looked like a promising season for him. But the injuries have derailed. He's been back and forth in and out the lineup. And what do you see with their offense, the way they've developed over this season against your defense, which, you have really, you've been shorthanded all year long, but you've been able to fight. And honestly, your coach has been amazing, DA. And so talk to me a little bit about what the matchups look like for that, what you see.
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head with McCarthy as far as the injury. So I'll lean right into that first. So they just got through with the Ravens last week, and he actually hit his hand on a helmet. So he was game's been shook, but they got him as a full go. He had a full pad on his hand Wednesday and Tuesday, and then so he was limited. He was actually throwing the ball with his left hand. Anybody who's, I don't know if you play quarterback and you hit your hand on a helmet, it hurts fingers. It's just anybody who's handling the ball, skill guys. It's rough when you got a hand injury. So kind of living right up to his it's been tough for McCarthy as far as on the injury front since he's come into the league, right?
Yeah.
So battling an injury. NFL no excuses league, though, and we taking them, to be fully healthy. Their whole season has been up and down on offense. And there's actually a lot of tension on the Minnesota side, right? Jettas, 18, Mr. Gritty himself has been disappointed. If you watched any of the, I'm going to call them lowlights, McCarthy threw a pretty bad pick, and he just kind of jogged it out, right? Frustration, kind of building up as far as how the season's going, and the production. And wide receivers, as a former wide receiver myself, we're temperamental, right? When we're getting the ball and we're scoring touchdowns, we feel great. When we don't, the world is coming to an end. Yeah. So Kevin O'Connell, as brilliant as he is as a play caller, I think there's just been some up and down with the QB position, whether it was Wentz, whether it was McCarthy. They're kind of trying to find their way. My thought process is this: Dennis Allen has done an amazing job. We talked about a little bit here last pod where against the Giants, everybody, at least Bear Nation, everybody was up in arms about how bad the defense was playing. I was on the other side of that coin saying, you hold a team of 20 in the NFL and you give your offense a chance to win. I look at it as a good day. We've been battling injuries. We actually got some good news. Jalen Johnson came back to practice, which was, I thought he was done for the season. He's actually questionable right now on the injury report. His 21-day window opened up yesterday.
What?
So technically he can play on Sunday. I don't think he will go, but Bear Nation, great news, right? We get Jalen Johnson back in this mix here soon. That kind of transforms our secondary.
What kind of injury was he dealing with?
It was an abdomen tear. He got it repaired, and by sometimes you see your team doing well and your training, and he's an in-shape guy, right? So a lot of times we talk about just certain guys keep their bodies in shape and they heal a little bit quicker.
He looked like he had added some pounds, though. He looked like he was kind of.
He did. He did. He was sulking, and then when he got that big payday, and he fell in line. He had some other issues. It was some things him and his wife were going through, and he just had a full transformation where he got married, got serious about his nutrition, and man, they showed him just going through the warm-up line, man, he's popping, and just his whole physique, he looks like he's in great shape. Wow. Not saying I don't want to get Bear Nation and say it's a definitive he'll go on this Sunday.
Yeah.
But that's a welcome addition. Yeah, that's a welcome addition. This week, though, I'm going in with the mindset that we're going to have Nashawn Wright and Stevenson on the edges. CJ Gardner-Johnson has been huge, right? He's 3 sacks, bringing some toughness from that nickel position while Kyler Gordon's down. Yeah. My perspective, Dennis Allen is doing exactly what I want him to do. I lived in the era of Lovie Smith with the cover 2. Sorry, Who's. I lived in the era of Flus where we sat back, but you see, shout out to Flus. You see now Dennis Allen, hey, we got 2 pitches, a fast ball and a faster ball. We bringing up that double mug, and with McCarthy kind of beat up a little bit. I want to say their center is out. They got a few injuries on the offensive line. Right. We got a few injuries on the defensive line. I think it's a push. I think you'll see something similar to the first game. They got their run game going on us. Jones has been a killer at running back historically against the Bears. Yeah. My perspective there, we got
Green Bay or Minnesota. He's
Green Bay or Mini. So we gotta keep him under control, and we got to keep Jettas under control. Last game they didn't have Addison. This week they do. So they're dangerous. They're desperate. That Ravens game.
That was a close game. They had a chance to win that game, man.
Yeah, and it was a home game, and they lost in that fashion. We're going back to Minnesota, and this is one where there's been a lot of noise, and we'll get into that here later around the Bears not beating quality competition, and we're 0-2 in division. So we got a desperate kind of mindset as, hey, we need a divisional win. They got a desperate mindset. This is our season, right? They drop another game, and it's looking pretty bleak for them. in this second half push to where, they're going to have to climb a pretty tall mountain. So my expectations is, a hard fought game defensively. I can see them, with Addison and Jettis challenging our secondary. We need some pass rush. Sweat's been on a heater here lately. I want to say 4 sacks in the last 5 games or something like that. And we also, like I say, got a boost from Edmonds, who's been playing lights out. And then you got CJ Gardner-Johnson, who I think has been doing an amazing job since he's come on in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's CJ. He gives a certain level of toughness and edge that you certainly can use. And then the style of play that you have is a very aggressive style, which fits his personality.
I love it.
Goes along with that, man. And then, man, if you get Johnson back, even for the last 4 weeks of the season, man, that's my gosh, I thought he was done.
I did too. Ben came to the podium Tuesday for the injury report, and he just alluded to it and said, my expectation, and he's been saying it for a while now, is our team is going to be playing our best ball in December. My expectation is we'll have Kyler Gordon back, Jalen Johnson back, and TJ Edwards, who's been battling a hamstring and a broken hand, all back in the kind of end of the tail part of this season. Yeah. And that should give our defense a big boost. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's flip over there. That was a lot to look forward to here, and obviously that's going to be a big portion of it. But what about the other side of the ball here? You have your offense going up against the Vikings defense. Historically, the Vikings defense is very similar to Dennis Allen in the sense that they like to be very aggressive, show you a lot of different looks. They blitz, they send people. They think you got sim pressures, a lot of stunts and disguises. And so if you're a young quarterback trying to find your way, you can get confused with that. Caleb, was new in that offense earlier in the year. Now he's further along, much more experienced. He looked good in the first couple of scripts of the game in the first game, but kind of tapered off. So what do you see this time around dealing with them? It's the second time this year seeing this Vikings defense and what they look like versus your offense.
Well, big test, right? And again, great insight. First game of the season. I think both teams are different now, right? From 8 weeks ago. So a little bit different perspective. Yeah, you're going to get the exotic looks from Brian Flores. He threw us an off-speed pitch. He gave us a little change up in game 1 and actually played a little bit more zone coverage. I went back and watched the film, and he gave us a lot of bit more zone and what I call coverage than he normally does. We also didn't have our run game going. So Ben probably goes into this game. Obviously, you got to be prepared for both. But I think the difference in this game and last game is going to be our offensive line, right? We took out Braxton Jones. They're going to be down Greenyard at the edge position. That's a plus. They gained Harrison Smith from this game where they didn't have him last game. So Harrison Smith's a tricky guy back there, smart, sharp, and he's going to add a new dimension. Not like
his play, man. He's a good player.
Great player. But I just think our confidence, and I'm going to add this to the stage, man, while we're talking. Iceman, Caleb, I need you, baby. Caleb Saquon Williams. I know you hear the people talking about you. Everybody, the national media showed you so much love this week, and we got to be able to say this is our moment. We got a really good team at home, and we have finally gotten to a point to where I'm really excited, and I really harped on this early on in the season. It was going to take us about 8 weeks or so to get this thing going, and really start to see some continuity with this offense. And this is a huge test for us. One, it's on the road. It's going to be loud. Can we execute? Can we, the pre-snap penalties that we've minimized here the last 3 weeks or so, can we continue down that path? Can we continue to, build on the run game that has made us a top 5 rushing attack? Can we run on them and protect Caleb?
Is Swift available?
Hey man, Kyle Monangai had 198 total yards against Cincinnati, and Swift healed magically. I told my son, it's something about somebody your backup performing. It's like what do we talk about in basketball when you get on defense and you just think, I'm dead to the world. As soon as that ball touches your head on offense, your energy level goes sky high. So as far as I know, his groin is feeling good. I think he'll give us a really big game. Huge pass protection game. Huge game because Flores is going to bring those exotic looks.
The house, man.
Bring the house. Last week, terrible game by our receivers. 7 drops I counted. I think it was 6 official. So, Ben wrote it off as an outlier. I do the same. Yeah. I expect to see us play some really high-level football on offense. I'm giving you 2 names to watch for, my young pups. Luther Burden, the third, Colston Loveland, Kyle Monangai.
Okay.
Those are going to be the guys. And the reason why I'm calling those guys out are because they're game changers, right? Colston Loveland, matchup nightmare. I think he can really do some things against this defense if we catch him right. Again, Luther Burden. DJ Moore hurt his shoulder last game against the Giants. Yeah. So I think Luther Burden should see a little bit more touches in the passing attack. And he's also explosive, man. If you can get him that ball on that short, I don't even know what it is, that artificial, turf. Yeah. He's the guy that takes advantage of that. So I'm really excited offensively. Again, you know what you're going to get with the Minnesota defense. Yeah. And it's always a little spooky. Flores with the double mug, exotic looks. He's going to win a few. We just can't make mistakes. We've been, I think, 3 total turnovers in the last 6 weeks of football.
That's beautiful.
And a lot of people have been talking about how we winning games. That's how the hell you win football games, right? As much as we've been disjointed at times, we haven't turned the ball over. So we knock on wood that we continue to keep, the positive ball protection going with our offense. And I expect Caleb to have a really, really, really big day on offense.
And that's the thing I've been talking about with Ben Johnson. And we'll talk about coaches here in a second, is coaching some of the bad habits away to the point where it's like, hey man, some plays the defense just gets a thumbs up because they ran the right play and they stopped you. Just let that go, cut your losses and move on to the next play instead of trying to turn every play into a hero. And now it gets worse and worse and worse, man. Minimizing those disaster plays is really a key, so you can at least somewhat, live to fight the next down and move on to the next play. In the worst case scenario, hey, you punt the ball and play defense. So
and I got one more thing to say, then we'll go to the next segment. I watched the all 22. And the next kind of progression of where I think Caleb's growth needs to be, which is sometimes you look at the plays that are how they're, you're looking at the end result of some of these scrambles and some of these plays that you speak of. I'll call them extension plays, right? And there's about 4 or 5 explosive, what I call them one-hit touchdowns that Ben dialed up, that we were a hair off, whether it was through protection, whether it was through Caleb, feeling a little something and moving. But my God, man, we got a lot of guys running free in that secondary where I call them just schematically. Ben has been dialing up some really big plays. So don't be shocked if you see the Bears hit some home runs this weekend, man.
Well, that's kind of the feast or famine with that defense of the Vikings. If you can solve it, there's definitely some holes. You can't do all of those, take all those chances without leaving something open. It's just, can you see it? Can you find it? Do you have enough time? And is it disguised well enough? So we'll certainly see. Definitely exciting there. Anything special with the special teams? Kicking game. You got your. Do you have your kicker back? You're inside, so the conditions should be good for field goals. Right. How do you think? How do you think that's going to shape out?
That's probably one of my biggest concerns is our special teams.
Is Santos back? Is Cairo
Santos
back?
is back. Yeah, Cairo's back. He's been accurate. He hadn't, a quiet kicker is a good kicker. Yeah, you haven't heard much from him. you really don't, he doesn't pop up on your radar until it's time for the longer kicks. And Ben Johnson is taking the aggressive approach. And why the hell? What's our favorite segment? Why the hell are we going for two? Right? Ben Johnson says he don't care about us. He don't care what we think. He don't care about what the old dinosaur football guys think. So he's just removed that from the equation, and we go for it. So knock on wood again. I think Cairo is going to be solid again indoors, and this is our first game, probably in great weather. In controlled conditions.
Maybe one of your last.
Yeah, I know, in about a month. So I'm expecting, we should play well there. Longest snap, hold, kick is where it needs to be. I'm a little concerned about our kickoff coverage, as it hasn't been the greatest against the Giants. We just kicked it into the end zone and conceded, giving the team the ball at 35, because we've been just, in the Cincinnati game, we gave up a home run, right out the gates, touchdown. Yeah. And all year we've been just terrible on our kickoff coverage. Could be the injuries, right? A lot of times you get your special teams guys starting to go into the starting lineup, injuries kick in, and that's the life of a special teams coach, where he doesn't get what I call, the consistency with his units. But ain't no crying and making excuses. That's the world Richard Hightower lives in. So I think Ben is either just going to kick it in the end zone, we'll concede at 35 and play some defense. And punting, again, controlled conditions. Taylor he's been pretty good. He's been doing his job, and he's kicked less than he did last year as a rookie. This is probably, he's another guy we really don't talk about because we don't use him a lot. We either scoring or we're going for it. So if we have to call upon him, I expect him to do his job. On the other side, with the Minnesota Vikings, they've been explosive in their kickoff return. Rodgers, I got another guy back there who's been explosive. I think we take the safe approach and kick this thing in the end zone, and let's not give them any juice, any life off of our special teams unit play.
I like it. If that's a stalemate, that's a win.
That's a win for us. So we've been poor on special teams all year.
Okay, you have Kevin O'Connell versus Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
You have
Ben Johnson versus Flores.
Ben Johnson versus Flores.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see with those matchups there? Man, I wouldn't, as far as coaching ability and coaching skill set, that's almost a push.
Yeah.
I would take any four of those in any situation as my coach, if I didn't have a coach, or if I, you know what I'm saying? Like those guys,
I agree.
All those guys hold their own. But what do you see there? Is it pretty much a push?
I actually know. I think it's right now I'm gonna say it's a little bit of an edge to Minnesota. Obviously they got the win in game one, so Ben is a psycho. And remember game one, at the end of the game, there was questions around his clock management when he kicked the ball. Instead of kicking the ball out of the end zone and kicking it out of bounds, we ended up kicking it in the end zone, and they advance it and run the clock out. So when we talk advantage, I think KOC kind of went up them in that game. And then Flores obviously figured out the offense and gave us fits and shut us down in that second half. And then Dennis Allen gave up 21 in the fourth. So I can't be, I want to be objective. So until we show it on the field, I'm giving the nod to both Flores and I'm giving a nod to KOC right now. But I think, this is a great, oftentimes the players are put on, hey, this is your moment kind of notice. Ben and Dennis got to get us some wins in this division. And historically, Ben has done very well against Brian. He's a prideful guy, so I expect us to play well. And I think Dennis Allen coming into this game figures some things out with McCarthy. He's got more film. He's got a lot more to see, kind of see some tendencies of what he does well, what he doesn't do well. He also has a few more what I call weapons coming back with hopefully if we get Jalen Johnson, that changes the whole dynamic. If not, I think we go schematically and do some things to try to confuse McCarthy the best we can. He threw a big pick six in Chicago that I thought was the nail in the coffin to Nashawn, right? our most favorite defensive player. You guys want to get rid of me, and somewhere he got a fumble recovery last week, man. Deshaun giving it up all day.
He stays around the ball.
Man, as soon as the ball get on the ground, who do I see? Big old 6'3" guy. Yeah, he running out with the football. You look at the box score. You look at his turnover plus minus, and all you do is shake your head and you salute the man. You say, all right.
Come contract time, you wait till he bring his folder, his portfolio for the contract negotiations.
And he dropped the pick too. He got it punched out, which is crazy. So he could have had a 2 turnover day. But to answer your question, right now I'm going with Minnesota. They got the one up on us game one. Just what I call game management and also clock management and just team overall performance. So Bears, Dennis Allen and Ben got to step it up there.
And keep in mind, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt based on the last game. Both of these coaches on both sides have played and has coached multiple games since then. This is week 10, week 11 in the season. So where all of these guys are nowhere near where they were week 1, week 2. So a lot has changed, but you're giving them the benefit of the doubt given from the last game, from the last time they played together. So
and I'm also giving them a little bit of uptick. They were on the road, right? And this is what is loud, it's chaotic, it's a different atmosphere. So you got to tip your hat to Minnesota from a coaching staff. They did something that I felt we gave that game away a little bit, but they took it. They took it from us. So I got to show some respect there.
So if the Minnesota Vikings win, I will say that I put this mostly on J.J. McCarthy because I think that the team right now is rising and falling with him. And the reason I say this is because the strength of their team is their offensive weapons. With Jones, with Jefferson, with Addison, with their tight end. Like, they have a loaded offense.
They do.
They don't show it all the time. And the thing that holds them back is J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback.
Right.
If he has another step forward and he progresses and he plays at a high level, that's how Minnesota's going to win this game. Because I don't think that the Vikings defense can keep Chicago at bay the entire game. I think they're going to have some positive plays on their defense, but I think there's holes in that secondary. I think there's holes in their defense that can be exploited, and that means there's going to be points given up. So y'all are going to score your points, Chicago. The question is can Minnesota match that at home? With McCarthy. To me, if Minnesota wins this game, it's because J.J. McCarthy steps up and, finds some holes in Chicago's defense and is able to get those receivers open and get those receivers in play and execute and not turn the ball over. Otherwise, I just don't really see it because I don't think Minnesota's consistent enough.
Right.
And so that's my only way of seeing it. I don't see, the special teams being an issue. The only other wild card is if Ben Johnson decides he wants to continue to be, Riverboat Ben and
coach us out of game, right? Yeah.
And coach you out of a game, going for it a couple of times. You have some pre-stop issues, and instead of them fourth downs converting, they end up being stops or turnovers and stuff like that. Because a turnover on downs is a turnover to me.
It is.
When you don't punt, and that's the first word of the sentence is turnover on downs. So
correct.
It is a turnover. So if those things go against you, there's your issues right there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to join you in the quarterback world. I'm throwing them up here. 18. We need you. We win if Caleb continues to ascend and leads us to victory. I'm not going to get long-winded with it. I'm personally looking for him to score points. We got to put points up on the road. We got to be clean with our execution in and out the huddle. And we need to be able to. I'm actually from what I call this a prediction, I think this is going to be a blowout, man. I think this is a statement game. Like I said, Ben is a psycho. He's upset about the way that first game went. I think Caleb's upset about where that first game went. And I'm expecting him to play really high level football. And in order for us to win, he's got to outplay McCarthy substantially. It can't be close. The last game was a little too close, and he left that door open. And McCarthy answered the bell, right?
Yeah.
And didn't play a pretty game. He won a dirty one and ran out of Soldier Field. And we've been what I call teetering with the cardiac kids. I can't take much more. I'm 46 years old. My blood pressure, my heart. I can't deal with this, Bears. Yeah. Caleb, stop the games. Let's get rid of these guys early. I'm going Bears 38, Vikings 17. So that's my prediction. 38-17. Yeah.
I also have it a high scoring game. I'm going Bears 35, Vikings 27. So it's going to be a little bit of a high scoring game. I think there's some turnovers. Mm-hmm. That when you think about points, everyone just thinks, well, is your offense going to score? No, there's going to be some turnovers.
Yeah, it's going to be. It is. And in a game of desperation, you're going to get guys trying to make plays and doing a little too much. Punching the ball out, hitting hard fumbles, tip balls.
There's going to be some live ball plays that turn into points. Even if you don't score the touchdown off of it, you set up a short touchdown. You know what I mean? So there's going to be some points there to score that way, short fields and stuff. So it's definitely going to be an exciting game. So, all right,
man.
Let's wrap up there. Preview.
Yeah, let's get to the Cowboys, man. We got about 20 minutes, so let's get to the Cowboys.
The backdrop here is simple. Cowboys coming off a bye. They're 3-5-1. They're really a desperate team. Mm-hmm. Two things that have happened when it comes to personnel is the free agent deadline. You pick up Quinnen Williams, a top defensive tackle, and then Logan Wilson, a very steady, smart linebacker who has the instincts for football, a lot of tackles, a lot of interceptions, very steady. And then the return of people from IR injuries. Number one being Demarion Overshown at linebacker, so you have a whole nother upgrade at linebacker. You have, Donovan Wilson coming back at safety, possibly Malik Hooker coming back at safety. You have Kalen Carson, who's back. You have Siobhan Revel, who was an All-American defensive back at East Carolina, who was a top draft pick, but had a knee injury, so he's coming back. Very, very prototypical body type for a cornerback. 263, 195 pounds, long, athletic, rangy, comes up, makes tackle. So you have a lot of players coming back along with new players. There could be as many as 8 people coming back on defense. That's changing. So a lot of changes there. And we'll start with the Cowboys defense versus the Raiders offense. With the Raiders offense, the struggle has been Geno Smith. He's been very tough this year, very, very, very poor in his decision making. Have you seen that with Geno?
Yes, and the Denver game.
Played him.
Yeah, we played him, and he threw two picks. They fumbled. And, this has been an off year for Geno. He's been a little sped up, maybe new offense. He doesn't look as comfortable as he did in Seattle when he was with Pete Carroll. You guys got some, like you say, some great additions. You're getting healthy. We actually played them a lot of single high with dropping Brisker, our strong safety, down in the box. Didn't help much in the sense of the running game. Genty killed us. He ended up with over 150 yards or so. As far as rushing, but from a passing standpoint, we were able to corral. They don't have a lot of big names on the edges. I forget the great tight end they got. I don't know why. It just slipped my mind. Kid out of Georgia.
Brock Bowers.
He was a little quiet against us. He was coming off a knee injury.
Yeah, it was a little
but
beat up.
A little beat up. But watching them against Denver, Gino, there was a lot of bad body language with Gino. Palms up, and Ben Johnson talks about that. I don't want a palms up guy. Interceptions. Genty had one bounce off his face mask and get picked off.
Yeah,
they just look super disjointed. They have I think they're averaging less than 15 a game, like 13 points a game. Yeah. You guys are giving up, over 30. Something's gonna give, right?
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are gonna, we call it a get right game. Sometimes you need a get right game. This is a perfect stage for a get right game. If you can corral Genty on the edges, like I said, I don't think there's anything out there that's gonna spook you too much other than Bowers, as far as just what I call nightmare matchup. I'm sure they watched the Arizona Cardinal tape with McBride, right? McBride was able to kind of do what he wanted to do against you guys on Monday night here a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So, you guys got to shore that up. So I'm seeing them to be aggressive with the tight end. The Cardinals actually had a big, I call it an aggressive game plan on the edges. I don't think they had the talent to be able to, to push you guys the way that Arizona did. With some of those matchup with Marvin Harrison on the edge. So I need Flus to, I don't know, fly down to Haiti, go down there, go ahead and, get back right on his defense and get aggressive. The Cowboys pressure has been up, right? So that's a misnomer with a lot of Cowboys fans that been playing a lot of zone. You actually have picked up the pressure. Fowler, the addition of
Ezra.
Yeah. And you got Williams, you got Wilson, you got some new pieces, Clowney. So my only real fear for you guys is, you got all these new pieces. A week isn't enough time to really put everything together to gel. Yeah. But where you guys were is probably just going to be better just from a talent perspective. Even if you go a little bit more vanilla, those guys will play fast. And with Williams and Clark in there, you can shore up that run, stop the run. Get the Raiders in the passing downs and try to get off the field.
The Cowboys may actually even go with a 5 defensive lineman look to put Osa Odigizua, Clark, and Williams in at the same time. And then you got Solomon Thomas coming off the bench. You also got a guy, Perion Winfrey, who would look really good in the preseason, but he had a back injury. But he's your prototype Flus defensive lineman, 6'5", 305 pounds long. You know,
DeForest Buckner type.
Correct. That's actually the guy that Flus likes, but we haven't been able to use him. See, and that nobody makes excuses for injuries, but at some point you need your guys, man, and so. It's nice to see some of these guys come back that'll help shore up that defense. And the Cowboys are just asking these guys to make that defense go from 32 to 22. And in order to do that, you're going to have to play at a 15 to 13 level to offset the low numbers, right? To do the math. Right. So if you're playing at the middle of the pack level average, we feel like the offense is going to be good. So you look at the offense, man, another week to have the offensive line gel and get back healthy again. Tyler Smith has some tendonitis issues, so he's getting a little bit more healthy, having a week off. Tyler Booker, another week to get his ankle together. Connor Beebe at center, coming back with injury, getting a little bit more healthy. So the offensive line should have some push. You should have your CD should be a little bit more healthy also. So we're looking to really put up big numbers on offense. What do
you think about this? So I think Pickens is going to be more involved in the offense. I was looking at his target production, his number of targets versus production. Yeah, and man, it's really it's off the charts. He's a league leader in just targets versus the production. Yeah. So, CD, I think CD has one touchdown catch on the year.
What happens is the CD is still drawing a lot of the coverage. So Dak, almost out of loyalty, is kind of putting it in CD's hands to do so. But the truth is, just throw it to Pickens because he's got the one-on-one coverage and force them to get out of that coverage until they can't do it anymore. Just keep crushing them because Pickens will catch it every time. You'll move the sticks, And then when they get tired of that, then you can go right back to CD, and he'll kill them down the field later on. So there's so many ways to do it, but just take what the defense gives you, because they can't cover all of that. They just can't.
No, they can't. And I think their secondary is they're very, what I call, just sticky. When I was in Vegas, you don't have a lot of huge names on that back end, but I felt like, in most instances, they were where they were supposed to be. Max Crosby up front is a damn hell raiser, so you got to have a plan for him. Got to have a game plan for him, and maybe you could take a little steam out of him, with the running attack, little play action, some what I call a couple of max protections to even. And this is what I'm saying too. Hell, even if it's 2 on double coverage on Pickens, that's a better option then, if Dak gets the protection, he can get it up to him, because Pickens is amazing in one-on-one coverage. So,
yes.
I'm sorry, in double coverage as well. His ball skills are amazing. So,
50-50 balls.
The 50-50 balls. So, I think, try to take a little steam out of him with the run game. Denver was able to do that. Bo Nix and that offense didn't look great against them. They just kind of, body blowed them to death and ended up walking out of there with a victory. So Dak's been down the last couple of weeks. What do you expect from Dak, man, to kind of get back on track?
Well, quiet is kept. I think we just played the 2 best defenses that's on our schedule. To be honest, if you look at the Denver Broncos defense and you look at Arizona's defense, that's what they have. That's what they do best. And so nobody wants to give anybody else any credit, but you're playing 2 very good defenses, and they kind of kept you at bay. And at the Arizona game, the Cowboys moved the ball. They just kept going for it and not getting it. And, we talk about this all the time, man. Take the points. Right. They left 9 points out there. And then you look up in the fourth quarter, you down by, 14 points, 10 points, and you could use all of them field goals, later on in the stretch, and that game changes. So the offense moved the ball the same way. They just didn't capitalize and punch it in. So, I think the Cardinals is probably one of the best defenses that we're going to play, along with Denver. I don't think the Raiders defense is as good, but they have good pieces. Devin White is a very good linebacker. And he's still good. And so we talked about Max Crosby. So I want to put Brevin Spanford, who's a huge tight end, who's an excellent pass blocker. Put him out there and let them double team Crosby, because it's only a matter of time before your receivers get open if you got Crosby check, right? And so that's my thing. Don't let this guy wreck the game. Continue to move the ball, get the ball out quick, keep him off balance, get your points, and then once you can start to get downhill, even if it's 3-7, you know what I mean? Then okay. Now you got a lead, and now you're a double-digit lead, and now you can go ahead on and go downhill from there. So it's not going to be a smooth, easy game. We're not just going to go there and blow them out. Right. But I think that the game is a situation where down the stretch you can kind of put their fire out.
No, I agree. All great points. I'm looking at it holistically, and I think offensively, again, this is another get-right game for you guys. Yeah. And I think Shotty comes into this game with a little bit more of a, what I call it a Max Crosby package, right? Where you just have to, like you said, don't let him wreck the game. I also wouldn't, with the emotional state of the Cowboys and where you guys are with everything, I would try to keep just the energy and the positive vibes up. Like you said, if you get in the scoring range, I would take points as early as I can and build on it. This is one of those games where it's going, even if it's tight in that first quarter, you keep body blowing. I think you guys have the talent to blow this one open. It's just not a great matchup for them, right? With offensively versus their defense, and I can see this easily tilting, the other way. Just because of one, that like you touched on, the health of the offensive line getting a lot healthier. And then from what I call just I'm looking at Ferguson and, like I say, Spanford and those guys being able to do what they do out in that secondary. And then you got Williams, who out the backfield if he can, catch a screen and get isolated on a linebacker. Their linebackers aren't as what do I call? They're not as disciplined, and that was one thing I noticed against the Bears game. We had a lot of big plays in the middle of the field, and I think you guys naturally that's one of his strengths. I think is being able to go hard, play action, and test the integrity in the eyes of those linebackers. So, from that perspective, I'm looking for Dallas to truly play some high level football in that way. So, another point that I think I want to touch on and talk about is just overall, you guys being able to continue to, figure out this defense. And with Flus, I think that's really going to be the crux of this game is I was just talking about another big piece for me is can you guys keep them in check to where you can keep with your game plan on offense, right? With Flus being able to not let this game get out of control and have you guys chasing, I really think the Cowboys are going to need some balance to be able to keep this thing going and to keep it in the right direction. At the end of the day, it doesn't have to be what I call a game where Flus has to take a lot of chances, but I do think the Dallas Cowboys defense does need to play with some speed, play with some aggression, and be able to continue to allow your offense to still be able to run the ball, to still be able to do the things we just talked about, which is allowing Pickens and then allowing, CD big play opportunities off of play action. So, from my perspective, I'm really excited about, you guys being able to come back and try to bounce back with this game. But the reality is, we lost you for a little bit, but I was saying I really don't think the Cowboys defense, in order for them to complement your offense, is by not letting it get out of, swing too far in one direction where you can't do all the things we're talking about, which is that balance. I don't want to see a game where they jump out 2 touchdowns and get you guys where you're chasing. So a part of this whole equation is for the defense to hold their water and keep the game what I call within striking distance. And know what I call silly turnovers. Pickens holds that ball a little loose for me at times. I want him to hold the ball and be secure. You don't need any what I call reckless play. We need to be buttoned up. You guys need to be buttoned up and ready to go to where you play clean football. All right, special teams. What you got for me? Special teams, man.
Field goals. Take the field goals. You got a great kicker. You got a great kick returner. Take the positioning. Take the field goals. They have a great kicker also. Carlson's an excellent kicker. That. And so, just one of those things where it comes down to those points, and you take those points when you can get them, and it's just like you said, it's just a cumulative effect because you're dealing with a team that struggles on offense. Every time you score, you make it harder for them to keep pace, and so just putting points up, kicking off, setting your defense, I think is the way to go there. And that's really it for special teams. I mean, just take advantage. They probably will have the stadium enclosed, so you won't have any real weather.
I would just get ready to say, can Turpin make a play, man? He's been quiet on special teams all year. Is he due for one, you think?
Yeah, he could be either from scrimmage or from a kick return. Okay. I see Turp kind of get back to his business too. That's the thing, man. There's so many different ways to exploit it, and the teams have kind of kept those hidden yardage, those hidden plays. They kind of kept them at bay, and we need to start capitalizing on them as we get into the meat of our schedule, because that can change the difference, to change the game right there. Against a Philadelphia or a Kansas City, that could make a difference.
For sure. Big game for you guys in the special team department. That's another huge phase that can't be forgotten, right? Sometimes we focus in on the offense and defense. Your kicker has been lights out. I think he missed in a career, NFL tying record, 68 yarder against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
But outside of that, he's been lights out. I can't fault him. It's hard for me to look and say he had a bad game. That's just a super long kick.
Yeah.
I got full confidence in him. I think he's going to play well. And again, there should be no reason if you get within 68, 67, 65, 64 yards in where you don't give it a shot, man. Even, that's a turnover in a sense, but it's a turnover with you trying to get points. And I'm okay with that. End every drive and a kick. All right. Offense. So we got Shotty versus old Pete Carroll. Pete, I saw him on NFL Network. He wrestling with the guys down on the field and keeping it light. Spry, 73 years old, trying to bring life back into this team. Again, the emotional side of this game for the Cowboys. Defensively, I don't even know who the defense coordinator for the Raiders is. I probably should. I just don't. So, Flus versus, Pete Carroll and those guys. What do you see in the coaches matchup?
Yeah. The Raiders have been very, they've been very vanilla in their defense. Mm-hmm. They've kept everything very kind of basic and stuff. I just didn't want those guys to play fast and stuff like that. Yeah. Pete Carroll, he's he kind of comes from that era of Dan Quinn and those guys that run that. Shotty was there too, so Shotty knows Pete Carroll very well. They know each other. Yeah. Very well, their tendencies and stuff like that as they were both in Seattle together. So, I feel like Shotty should be able to dial up some things to take advantage of that. He should know he knows Geno very well also. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the Cowboys should be very solid there as far as their game plan. We've had 2 weeks to get ready for this game also. Yeah. So I feel like the Cowboys coaching should be solid. They should be at an advantage in this game.
All right, last thing, man. Cowboy Nation needs you. I'm usually the guy with the props. I'm usually the guy. I'm the creative. I think you're the more analytical technician. You're the mathematician guy. Cowboy Nation needs you. Give me something that you guys should feel good about and something that could make Cowboy Nation feel positive or good about this game.
Yeah, I just think that this team is starting to look like they haven't really played their best ball yet when it comes down to it. And I just think that when you start to look at the talent that you have on this team, it's starting to uptick and upgrade, and the team has fought really hard with injuries and lesser players. But when it's all said and done, you start to look around, and you got some dudes, man. You got dudes on this team now that can really, 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 really step it up and make plays. It's just a matter of doing it and putting it together. And I just think this team is off the grid, and that's kind of good for Dallas because we're kind of, we're always high profile, but no one expects the Cowboys to do anything this year as far as like making any playoff runs. And all they got to worry about is one game. Just find a way to beat the Raiders and worry about whatever happens next. That's all you got to do. So I think that's the right approach. I love our leadership as a team, and I'm not worried about the team, losing faith or losing their steam and stuff like that. I'm not worried about that at all. It's just, make your breaks, execute, and play. Play to your standard, and I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah, and this is my take. That's a great take, Cowboy Nation. You heard it here first. He's Mo is one of the most analytical guys I know. I trust him. I believe in him. What he says is gold. I'm throwing this up here. I'm bringing some emotion to this thing. And when you see that right side where it says in the hunt, all you guys got to do is get in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? Your bullet right now might not have hit a target, but hey, you got a gun. You got some bullets. You got some fluorescent vests. Put it on and start walking next to somebody else and start looking. You got to start hunting. Get on that right side. Yep. If we beat Minnesota for you, and we've been doing God's work for the Eagles, it's time for me to switch it up, baby. I'm getting these. You see 10. We're gonna push the Cowboys right up in here, man. We're gonna get y'all in the hunt. Yeah. We're gonna do a little work for each other, and I'm looking forward to this mini game to get you guys. We're gonna do our part and I expect you guys to have a really good bounce back game. Yeah. And also just a tribute game to Marshawn Nealon, which I think is what's on everybody, a lot of Cowboy Nation hearts and minds, and to play well and to dedicate not only this game but this season, I think, to him and his memory. So I know you got to get out of here. I appreciate you. Cowboy Nation needed you. You stood. It's the second time you done stood up, man. You came off injury with your sickness, and you did an impromptu salute.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. H&M Sports Academy. We appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll get up out of here.
Have a good evening, guys. Have a good evening. See you next week.